What to invest in to become a millionaire. Stay to the end of this video and you are going to be shocked with some of the things I'm going to tell you. I've become a millionaire in multiple industries. I'm going to tell you my favorite towards the end. But I'm going to line up 5 ways, easily, 5 different avenues, different asset classes, different processes that you could invest in or do to become a millionaire. I have many of my millionaires doing these today. So in addition to talking about the 5 ways, I'm going to talk about why the stock market, through a very specific process, is still a good thing to do. I'm going to add a little cryptocurrency into that conversation. And then I got to share with you my number one strategy and process. And I have made more millionaires in this one category than anything else. And you can do it all over the world. And you can take a business trip all over the world and never go on a vacation again. Stay tuned. All right, so let's get to it. 5 different ways that you could invest or work on or plan to become a millionaire. Now, I'm not a financial planner. These are only my opinions, and it's also that I've been a mentor and coach for 25 years. I have been making millionaires since 2001, and here's how it began. I became a millionaire myself in 1999, and then people, again, be it friends and family. I used to work at Chevron. I've had tons of people in my community, and they said, "How did you do it?" I said, "I bought real estate and I did it this way." And they said, "Well, do it for me." And I said, "Well, this is my early mentoring in like 2000, 2001. Get on an airplane. We'll meet in Oklahoma City." Same thing that my mentor did. And I just built in the same team and system. And we moved to another market and I took people on a tour to another market and then another market. And 29 markets later, by 2005, we were rocking real estate millionaires. I remember in 2003, everyone who had joined our community became a millionaire. I mean, we had it dialed. It is not difficult, but you do have to have a team, you got to have a system, and you got to focus on a strategy. I've done so many different ways and different places to become a millionaire, but I'm going to go back to one. I'm going to end with some real estate, but I want to go to one that is near and dear to my heart. And since 2005 and 6, I've been doing as well. It's buying a business. So if you think about buying, a real estate property, think about, businesses are the same, right? They have their ebb and flow and they have their ups and downs. Right now, because of our pandemic and what's going on, businesses are hurting. They're either thriving or they are hurting. And what they need is a shark. You could be a shark. Never before in the history of our world could you go into a shop, coffee shop, hair salon, auto body shop, technical business. I mean, you name it. Companies need money. They either need money for inventory, they need money just to stay capitalized, they need money for growth, they need to completely shift, I hate that word pivot, but shift their entire strategy. They've got to hire a completely new team. I mean, from offline to online. I don't know how many restaurants I've helped move from offline to online to be able to do the delivery and pickups that were completely, didn't even have a website. It was shocking. So businesses are everywhere. And here's your homework. I want you to drive through your town today. Not care how big it is. And I want you to get 1, 2, and 3. If you could be a part owner, a shark, it doesn't matter that you don't know how to run them. That is a whole different conversation. But I bet if you drove through town and you just said, I'd like to own part of that company, and that company. And you walked into the company and you just had this little bit of a conversation. You'd say, "So how are you doing? My name is." Right? "I'm curious, how are you really doing?" Ask the question again. And then say, "How are you doing financially? I'm an investor and I'm looking for businesses I could support. I don't want to buy and take it over, but are you in need of an investor or some support?" I can tell you that script has gotten more thousands of clients, businesses across this country. And I'm talking storage units, RV parks. I have a guy that just bought a trailer park and he's flipping the trailers as one part of the business. He's teaching people how to buy trailer parks, and he's actually rehabbing and fixing that up for cash flow. So 3 cash flow moves in one purchase. There are so many businesses that need you now and never before they need experience. Here's what they need. They need experience, they need money, and they need some access to new markets. So those are the 3 things that most businesses use. You say, "Well, I don't know how to do any of those." Well, I do, and I will help mentor and coach you through them. It is so much fun right now to be involved in the volatility of what's going on and being on the side where you can actually save and support some of these companies. And I'm just going to teach you a lot of common sense ways to do it. But owning a business, huge. I have a guy right now who's building a recycling It's a plastics business. It's recycled plastic. He's starting it in his basement. He's to the point now where he's made enough recyclable, from coasters to what's going to become tabletops to trays to also boxes, all sorts of different cool products. It's time to move into a manufacturing facility. What's he going to do? He's going to build a business plan. He's going to go out and look for money. Before he does that, where do you think I'm going to send him? Right? Back to my video on the EIDL loans. He has a business. It's recyclable. So, I mean, it's in the recycling green space. So he can go to the Department of Conservation and get money. There's so many fun strategies that I cannot wait to coach him through to make that business out of his basement into a manufacturing plant. And maybe one day you'll even buy his plastics. My point is there is money everywhere for businesses that are getting started or need fixed. But if people don't know what you do, you can actually start owning some. So that's number one. Number two is private lending. And you say, well, isn't that sort of the same? It is and it isn't. So buying the business means you're going to get in. You can do convertible debt to get in. You could actually just buy in and buy into an equity position, which is really what a lot of these businesses need. Or you can just stand back and say, I'm going to be the bank. I'm going to be the OPM. And I'm going to allow them to borrow some money from me to change their circumstance. Maybe you do a year note or an 18-month note. But private lending is critical. Now, do you do that to your just friends and family because they need money? Absolutely not. And then I'm going to speak to some of you who I know because you have come into some money. And all of a sudden, your friends and family who have never once in their life ever done a business or ever done anything around the conversation of money have their hand up. So be very careful. If they do not have experience, they're not a millionaire in the space, you do not work with them. It's just a rule. It'd be like me asking non-millionaires, or even in my case, people under a certain net worth of $1 million for advice. Why would I ever reach down to people who have no clue or have no experience is the bigger thing that I look for. I want experience. That's what I hire when I hire a mentor. I want years of experience. I don't care if they got some bumps and bruises along the way. That means they've been really doing the work and being in the business. So I want somebody, you always want to reach up to somebody who has the experience and has the net worth experience that you're going to, be a part of. So lending, easy way to get in, easy way to be millionaires. The arbitrage is a strategy that will teach you if lending is a way that you want to go in your millionaire plan. See, my goal is to make you a millionaire. My promise is 3 to 5 years. So you can buy a business, you can do private lending. Number 3, crowdfunding. Believe it or not, crowdfunding is a huge way that people are becoming millionaires. So crowdfunding, it started off with, the GoFundMe and like the simple sites where basically just, it was charity, giving money away. I actually was on some of those national conferences, early stages in crowdfunding, blasting people for just, not investing any money in being broke, but they'll give 200 here and 300 here as a charity move because you don't know money at all. So I was the one saying, do equity crowdfunding. So no, I'm not a huge fan of giving your money to a random bunch of people on charity. I am a huge fan of charity, and mine's specific. It is to kids and student athletes. So if you don't ever want to be mentored by me, give me your children. I do kids for free, teenagers for free, and student athletes. Very clear on my charity rules, but just casually going around on GoFundMe sites because somebody had a bad day, interesting. So crowdfunding, equity style. So it's a Reg A offering. There's a lot of SEC regulations and guidelines around how to do it. But literally, there are companies that have done hundreds of millions of dollars through a crowdfunding portal, right? So it's very high fintech that actually backs this up. But you can invest anywhere between $500, $5,000. It's what Grant Cardone has done. He's got a huge Reg A fund. So when you invest, that's a huge portal for the non-accreds that he's been using. There's just a ton of businesses, real estate, there's gas and oil you can invest in. So depending on how you do it, but crowdfunding, if you want to accept a ton of different people's money, so the investor management part of it is really heavy. It's part probably people don't tell you about. Crowdfunding sounds easy and sexy, but the management, you have to think if you had 1,000 people giving you, $5,000, that's only $500,000, but 1,000 people that have a lot of questions. Again, do the due diligence, but I have had people become multi-millionaires using crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding platforms as a way to do it, because you can get into some really large assets that way. Now let's go to my favorite. My favorite is real estate. You can do REITs in the stock market. People have done those. The people who really make the money, who really become millionaires, are those who own the REIT, right? So that's a real estate investment trust. So you're going to invest in a fund, right? Or you could put the fund together. So those are more sophisticated for most of you that are watching. Just go do a bunch of real estate. Use good debt. be leveraged properly. I'd love to help and coach and mentor you through this. So if you're really, really liking this, I want you to give me a thumbs up. I want to share with your friends. Love to help you become a millionaire and pick your path, pick your industry. Over time, I can tell you, you can become a millionaire in more than one industry. I've become a millionaire in all the industries that in all the sections I've talked about. I have one gentleman on track to become a millionaire in 8. He's been with me for 3 years, 8 different sectors. And he's been with me for 3 years. So if you're serious, I'm serious. There's so many ways for you to become a millionaire. So thumbs up, like, share, get people on this channel. So real estate, again, love it. There's a lot of videos that I've already done on a ton of real estate here on my YouTube channel. So you can always search them and just learn more about how I became a real estate millionaire and the strategies, how to pick the right one for today's environment. Now, the 5th one, before we wrap it all up, the 5th, and it's shocking for most people. And, I come and go from this strategy a lot, but I've made a lot of people millionaires, believe it or not. Number 5, indirect sales. I got to brag about him. Jordan Adler is one of my students. He is part of Send Out Cars, actually works deeply with the company. Multi-millionaire, helped him write his book, Beach Money. Love the guy. But I have seen people and I have coached people in many direct sales companies, many 6- and 7-figure earners. So I've helped tons of people, from Jordan Adler, Send Out Cards, from New Skin, tons 7-figure earners selling, facial products. There's a lot that are from like Primerica, World Financial Group, tons of people over there. 7-figure earners in a lot of companies. There's a brand new one. I've owned them. I've been a part of them. There's an old one, 24, 25-year one that I'm been a part of. And if you are like me and don't like big box stores, I buy from that company. It's Melaleuca, right? So I have links to all this kind of stuff. I love making people direct sales, millionaires and multimillionaires. And what I'm a fan of is bundling them together. Mary Kay, huge. How can I forget that one? In fact, there's a whole division of Mary Kay that actually uses some of my marketing and sales strategies on how to create daily consistent sales. So here's what's different is as that woman, I'll just give an example of somebody. She was in Canada. She came to one of my workshops. She was only in Mary Kay when she came. She added a clothing line, a jewelry line, and an accessory line. Now she charges to be an image consultant, which is all her own money, makes money in all 4 of them, became a multimillionaire. So there's so many ways to bundle and put them together. There's a very cool accountability ones called Live. I have so many that I use and I love, and I'm in CBD. So I'm in a wine business. So I'm in a lot of them because I love them and I like being paid back for what I use. Why I like it now, and I'm going to bring it up today, it's inflation proof. In a lot of ways, when you think about the way they have stacked their downlines and their pay structure, they don't change their pricing. When you go to Walmart, to Target, even through Amazon, a lot of supplies are getting this inflationary, problem because of what's going on. If you think about, milk and butter and eggs have all gone up. If you think about some of your supplies, they've all gone up. When you buy through a direct sales company, in a lot of ways, it inflation proofs your purchasing power, plus you get paid back on the other side. So I've always been a fan. I haven't really talked about it loudly for a long time, but with what's going on, the inflation going on, I just know a lot of families are joining just for that, just the cost structure, much less if you really want to be a millionaire. Boy, I've made so many people millionaires. I think of all the different names. I feel like I'm being remiss in not naming every different company that they become millionaires in. But for some of you, direct sales will be your thing. If you're a good marketer, you're willing to train, you want to build a team, it's a great way to do it. So there we go. Buy a company, be a bank. Love that one if you want the simplest, but you obviously have to have money to have done that. Crowdfunding, real estate, and direct sales companies. Those are 5. I've become a millionaire in all of them. You can be a millionaire in all of them. It's not difficult. So with those 5 ways, let's go on to the stock market. So I only invest in the market through an app. It's an AI-driven app. It's called iFlip. So in the notes below, I'm going to give you a free link to get my app. And I say my app because I'm an investor in the company. It's a software. I'm not giving you investment advice, but here's why I like it. Unless you like waking up and going to bed with the market and watching the highs and lows and really becoming an active trader, don't think your financial planner is watching when you short out the market. In March 2020, right? April 2020, around that time frame. Actually, I think it was March 17th-ish. The market dropped below 1929 lows. It was the biggest drop in the history of our lifetime. I had the iFlip app. I lost 2.8%. An average financial planner, an average person in the market lost 33%. So you can take those large risks and those gambles if you want. I don't. I love iFlip. It takes you out of the market. It's a math equation that's algorithmically designed, and it has all sorts of portfolios. You can do tech, you can do green, you could do gas and oil, you could do real estate, you could do combinations. Coming soon in the next few months, it has a whole portfolio of digital currencies, so you can actually be in trading and investing in different digital currencies, all done through an app, through math-driven algorithms that will actually protect you in the market. So yes, I'm a huge fan, as long as you have some protection to the downside. It's interesting to hear people say, well, but I made my money back. Why did you lose it in the first place, is my point. So huge fan of the market, absolutely. The market and in cryptocurrencies, tons of people becoming millionaires over there. Again, you just got to protect, the downside of all of that. And my number one of all the ways that I've described, and you know what it is because it's how I became a millionaire, it's real estate. So I love real estate. I love the construction that I'm in. I love the RV parks I'm in. I love the Airbnbs, just the variety of strategies that it gives me and a variety of teams the ability to really be deep in markets and affect markets. We're in the Boise market, and it's just amazing to watch the growth. And thank you, Newsom. The one thing he did well is had enough people move out of California and increased our home prices. Home prices went from $400,000 to $600,000 per home. Love real estate, still my favorite. What you're going to find once you become a millionaire is you're going to want a couple other categories to be a millionaire in. I got millionaires in insurance too. I can keep going. There's not an industry that we probably haven't produced a millionaire in. So over time, you're going to want real estate as one of them. It doesn't have to be your first one, though. You can become a millionaire in whatever you want. Just let me help you. So what I want to do is get to know you, and I want you to click on the link inside the description. I want you to take a quiz. It's our financial personality quiz. And I want to see who you are, and then you'll get to know who I am, and we're going to decide to work together. If you're serious about being a millionaire, I'm serious about helping you make it.